You can't get near me. See this? This is your spell of protection.
Is that what that is now? And who exactly gave you that spell? All that circle protects is you. From leaving it.
You stay back! I'll kill you, you stay away!
We've been waiting for you, Caroline. Waiting for you to believe.
Welcome back to the How to Feel Horrors podcast, where we review horror movies and horror movie franchises. I'm Tawan.
I'm Elian.
And today, we're reviewing The Skeleton Key, released in 2005, directed by Ian Softly, and written by Aaron Kruger. Elian, will you give the people the plot summary?
A young hospice worker named Caroline who takes a job caring for the stroke-afflicted man in remote Louisiana. While there, she discovers a hidden room containing hoodoo artifacts and becomes suspicious of an elderly woman, Violet, who owns the house. Caroline's investigation reveals that the house has a dark history and that Violet is involved in hoodoo, a practice that caused her to eventually use magic to trap Caroline's soul in Violet's failing body. While the spirit of the house's former owner, Mama Cecile, takes over Caroline's young body.
And this week, there will not be any How to Feel headlines, so we are diving straight into our discussion of the movie. And
Ooh.
This movie was picked by me. I recently, I forget how I ended up watching it, but my mom was watching it, and I had like one of those dad in front of the TV moments where I just like stopped what I was doing and started watching, standing up, watching a movie, and I was like, yo, she is so stupid.
Hold up now. Hold up. You know what? I'm gonna defend myself. Hold up.
Wait. I was watching a movie, it was good. It was a good, decent movie. You know, Kate Hudson, um, she's a good actress. But as I was like going through this movie, everything that she was doing is nothing that I would do in this type of scenario. Like, I would be like that video, that man at that hotel when he was like, "It's above me now," because it's above me and I'm not dealing with this. But you know, Caroline, she wanted her savior moment, and she 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 helped somebody. She helped somebody in one being, but she helped out somebody else.
Oh my god, no.
Oh, but it was a decent watch though. I think like I would say like it wasn't like a like really in your face type of horror movie. It was, you know, on the verge of being more of a like suspense type movie than horror, but that's under the same umbrella in my opinion, so it really doesn't matter, to be quite honest. I still would say that is like under horror, and the atmosphere in it was really good. Um, I like the showcasing of hoodoo being differentiation from voodoo, as those aren't like the same things as it was explained in the movie. Um,
Hey, I just want to add on to that. I was like, it actually really did help me a little bit because it reminds me of like Catholicism and Santeria in a sense. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Whereas just like, Catholicism is the religion and then the Santeria is just the practice of like the beliefs or like, the incantations. So it kind of reminded me a little bit of that. Uh, that's what it reminded me of. But if anybody else has their own opinion on that, my bad. I don't mean to be disrespectful.
Yeah, but yeah, this was a good watch. I definitely feel like I had seen this movie when I was younger, but it was kind of one of those ones that probably were just on in the background. And after watching it like on TV, I looked at our DVD collection at home, and we did have this movie on DVD, so it definitely popped up when I was younger, but I didn't remember it at all. So it was almost like watching it for the first time, and watching it now, like that I'm an adult. I don't know what Miss Caroline thought she was about to come in there and do, but
Leave Caroline alone.
yeah, let's see what Elion thinks. This was also his first time watching it, and he did like it once after watching it.
Okay. So this movie, I came in like literally like blind. I didn't know the summary. I didn't know nothing. Even before I didn't even read the little like plot summary before pressing play. I just played it. So my intention, just by looking at the picture, I thought she like she found a key that showed like some dark shit inside the house, like I don't know, maybe like people were being enslaved. I thought people were being like hostage or something. That's like my first intent, like my first like thought process when I saw it. Then a little bit came out. I'm like, okay, this is not bad. But I wanted to refer back to what you said about this film. It's not in your face, and that's what I really liked about this film because it didn't need that. It was more like it had more like even though it had a spiritual side to it, it also played with the psychological aspect of humanity, which I really did enjoy. It wasn't like every ghost story, every all that stuff like was it's just like it's a jump scare, everything's closed, everything like that. No, it was like more of like it wasn't there on your face like you said. It made it much better because it wasn't needed. Um I was talking to Twan as well that I went through three plot summaries. What's it called? I went through what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for, Twan? Where it's just like you didn't expect that to happen. Where you
What,
thought of
three plot
something.
twists?
Yeah, there we go. Three plot twists. I went through three plot twists in the span of 20 minutes. I was like, wait, what? Wait. And then I get to the end. I'm like, no fucking way. I had, wait, am I allowed to talk about what I thought was going to happen in this portion?
Yeah, go for it.
So the first summary I thought was that she was going to kill her husband to get whatever life he had. Because I don't know, maybe she was dying first than him and she wanted him to die so she can keep the house. That was the first thought I had. Then the other thought process that came up to me is when she went into that little hut with that little blind woman. I actually no, I had four plot twists. But it revolves with the second one. Where she goes inside the blind woman's house and she said that the CD or like the what's it called, the record player that she had was like a ritual for like longevity. So that made me also think that she was trying to kill the nurse to get her lifespan. But another thing that I thought was that this whole time was I don't remember the beginning. It was the blind woman and that black lady. I thought
Hmm.
there was like a little flashback later on in the film where I thought this whole time they were alive, like they were technically quote unquote alive in a like right there. I thought they were just taking care of that woman. I don't know. I was so confused for a second because like I saw like three different like family backgrounds. I was like, what is going on? I'm so confused. Um, but then the fourth one was and that got me off guard. This whole time she wasn't trying to kill her. She was just trying to take her body. And then to only find out that Papa Justify was the lawyer and the lawyer was inside the old man this whole fucking time. I was like, oh my fucking God. It was such a good film. It kept me on my toes at the end. I was like, okay, this is really good. But I'm gonna defend Caroline. Her job was to be a nurse, and she wanted to protect this man because she really thought that this man was in danger because of his wife trying to kill him. So she was just doing her job. What I wish she did was actually call the authorities with all the evidence, even though she felt like she was going crazy. But she could at least have that on record.
Look,
Ah,
Caroline was playing a dangerous game. She was
well, she
dealing.
didn't believe it. That's why until the very end.
No, she was believing it because like if she wasn't believing it, she wouldn't have tried to use it like
But
what?
like, but she also said at first, she's before she started believing it, she said, if this person believes it, I have to respect their beliefs and I have to make them believe it. So she didn't. She was going in without wanting to believe it. If they believed it, it was going to be in the benefit of him. Only to be like, oh wait, this shit is real. I get where you're coming from. I'm like, she was doing what she thought was right for her patient at first.
Sure, but this is also stuff that like this isn't where way to put this like she was dealing with things that she didn't know what she was doing with, like, and I guess this will kind of tie into scenes and stuff as well. We can kind of push in that
Right.
direction too. Like, she's in the house, and one, she just, first of all, as soon as I get to a house and they talk about there's 30 rooms in here, they all empty, ain't nobody else in here but us, I'm out. What you mean there's 30 rooms in this house and ain't nobody else in here but us? All right. Now she messed now, and then she did the one thing that all these characters do in these movies. They like, oh, it's in the attic, just go get it, and then she starts snooping. Why is you snooping? Like, honestly, she damn near sped run her getting taken sooner.
I mean, I was a little curious. I ain't gonna lie. Shit,
See,
you would too.
my curiosity ain't like that, because
Mm-mm.
like, all I'm gonna say is at the end of the movie, what did I think it was Justify when
Yeah,
Cecily was like, I wanted a black girl this time, and he was like, well, they don't stay long, exactly,
yeah.
because they get the fuck out because discernment is high. They have
And you
high
know damn well
discernment.
that was not what about that. You know damn well that wasn't what he was referencing.
No, that is what he was referencing. Because if they leave, she don't got a chance to get to them. Because they not about to deal with
Mm,
that.
mm.
But
I,
you got Caroline out here. She thinking she Captain Save-A-Ho and was like, "Oh yeah, we gonna fix this up." Like, she playing around with shit that she don't know about, putting the dust on the ground and shit. Like, she doing a little too much. Like, as soon as I would have stepped in that room in the attic and I saw a voodoo doll of me and all this weird shit, um, and weird shit, not even in a good way. Like, it would have been different if she walked in there in that room where there were obviously like spiritual stuff happening, and let's say it was like protection spells or like something like cleanse spells of cleansing or things like that. Like, that'd be different. But you talking about Papa Justifies record, and it's like do like other shit going on, like, not for good. Like, that's not gonna make me stay. Like, I would have been immediately out the door, seeing that. But Caroline, on the other hand, she's like, oh, well, I'm just gonna take the record. Girl, what? You don't know what that record do. You could have put that on and your head blew off. You don't know what the fuck going
mm-mm.
on. Like, she didn't know what she didn't know what she was getting into, and it's like, I get, like, wasn't she like at first she wasn't like had any belief in it, but the longer that put up with something, like, it's gonna get to that point where you're um subconsciously gonna start taking into the beliefs of it. Like, really, no matter how long, like, you're doing that. um and that's what happened here. And she got caught up, like, trying to, thinking what she was doing, and yeah, just it just didn't really work out in her favor. But what were some scenes that you liked here
I think the scene that got me
or
fucked. Oh
disliked?
my god, I don't know what scenes I dislike because I was so into the film. Like I need to watch it another time to see if I had scenes that I dislike. I think the only one that I felt was out of place was just like the old lady in the beginning when she was driving up to the Devereaux's house. I
Hmm.
was like, I wish there was a little bit more because watching the whole film, I thought it was that little girl that escaped the fire. That's what I thought at first. It was that little girl that escaped the fire. And then the two voodoo people or the two hoodoo people were the two black people that were taking care of her. That's what I initially thought. But then out of nowhere, it's just like, obviously, we're going to talk about it, but I'm like, there was nothing. It was just like, I felt like it was a very out of place. Um, but all the other, like, I loved everything else, but the one thing that really fucked me up that I didn't think about was going back to that scene where like they were, they had the kids inside that little ritual. It was supposed to be like they quote unquote they had them believe in hoodoo and all that stuff because they wanted to practice it, only to find out they were just transferring their souls inside the body. And then I had the idea, I'm like, they literally killed their own kid by hanging them, not realizing it was their kids.
Hmm.
And then I was like, oh my God, I was gagged. I was like, oh my God. It
No,
got me
yeah,
fucked up
that
because I
got
had to
me
look
too when I was
back.
watching it. I
I
was
was
like,
like,
damn.
oh my goodness. There were some scenes that had me cracking up though, but I can't think of one. Just some scenes were just so funny to me. I really have to go back into the film to watch. Um, another scene that I liked was that for these people to do this for a while, I'm shocked that this woman did put out a bigger fight than they thought that she would have. Because they said this was the harder one. This was harder than the lawyer. Um, I don't, I don't think I think it was just more of like the realization scenes, or like a lot of my scenes are just basically the ending plot. I can't like everything else was such a good build up. I can't think of any good like any scenes per se. It was just like more of like I just enjoyed the build up. Uh, what can I say besides that? That that that's it. That's all I can think of.
Well, for me, I had a couple. Um, First, when she pulled up to that gas station and she's like, she's looking for the cashier. If I ain't see nobody at the front, I'm not going down to the basement on the
Bye.
side
You
to
know what? Hell yeah. You right on that. I was like, girl, you should have just taken the free gas and left.
and not if that even if you like try to be good Samaritan and you like okay I want to at least pay, girl, leave the cash at the front. Like leave a 20 or something,
Hmm.
leave a 20 on the table and keep it moving. What you mean you going down to the basement of the building on the side of the gas station that already look creepy? That got like what are you doing? And why you need to fill up before you left town? You say you live the where she working now is like an hour away from like home. So why you ain't fill up
I
before you left anyway?
I keep forgetting how far the distance was. Because I'm like, girl, at this point, I'd rather just find something closer.
Like what are we doing here? So
No, for
that
real.
was that immediately that had me. Another scene that was actually funny in in retrospect was when um Luke, quote unquote Luke, was sitting on the bed with Caroline, and they were kind of like not having a heart to heart, but kind of having like an intimate convo. And out of nowhere, Violet comes up and she disrupts it, and, and then like
Oh my God.
in retrospect, like it's like, oh, Cecily's like, why? Like, basically trying to be like, oh, what is you doing? Talking to justify, be like, what is you doing
You know,
with
is
her?
this, wait, hold on. Is this the reason why you told me to watch the full movie? Because and then some parts are going to be, it like, makes sense. Because that just
Yes,
showed that Cecile was a jealous woman. And it's
yes,
just
because
like,
like
oh
he
my
is sitting up there with her
God.
chopping it up, and then jump by the like basically like, oh, what is you doing? Like,
I need. You have no idea. I need to watch this film again because now that I know, a lot
yeah, a
makes
lot of
more
scenes are
sense.
they hit a little different with the context and everything.
Yes.
So yeah, that was one of them.
Ugh.
And then also like any time where Violet was just asking her questions, like that was just her trying to figure out like does she want to like swap into her, like when she's asking her about like does she have tattoos, like how religious is she, like is she open to religion or stuff like that, trying to like get a feel of
Yeah.
her and if she would be like a good match or whatever. Um so that was one. The Another that comes to mind is when when she put the dust outside of her room and covered it with the rug, and
That's when she
and
really believed it because they would have not known. Not
hmm
known.
yeah, it is. Violet came to that door, and she's like, "Oh, how about you come bring it to me?" She was, I like
I was laugh.
Violet didn't even respond. She just laughed and walked away because she already knew.
Girl, I was like,
She
oh my
immediately,
God.
she just knew in that moment, and it wasn't no going away from that. But just the ending itself, where she thought she turned the tables on them and basically got trapped into what they wanted her to do anyway. I'm like, this is why you don't play with shit that you don't know about, because like now look at you,
Oh,
now you in
swapped.
this brittle body,
Oh my God.
now you in
No,
this brittle
actually,
body.
I also wanted to just come back. And now I do remember seeing it's the ending scene where like the, Caroline and the actual lawyer, Luke, were actually looking at each other
And
and
now
then oh
I know Luke wants to
my
curse her ass out.
oh, I was so mad.
Also, why she she was wrong for this, putting the mirrors in front of that man. Why would she
Oh
put the
God.
mirrors in front of him when he was in the tub, and she gonna put the mirror in front of him?
So for me, was it actually because she thought spirits, or is it because they see that it's not them?
Say again?
So is it so the window, the mirror thing, was it because they actually didn't want to see spirits, or is it because they don't want them screaming because they realize who they are now?
Well, she put the mirror in front of him because like she wasn't believing it, but he obviously he believed because he was already transferred over into a different body, and that's why he had such a reaction to it in the tub because Luke was in there, so he saw their spirits, and um yeah, he was um kind of that like triggered him. But as far as scenes go, that'd be it for me. So we're gonna move on into our character list. So first on the list will be Luke, or Pop, or Justify, as we know him. Um,
Right.
he was
Um.
he was smooth because until you get to the end, I would have never thought nothing. I would have
Yes.
never thought
And this
nothing.
whole time, yeah, I can't even talk about Luke because this whole time it was just justified. Luke was just a fucking senile man. Like I don't know what to say besides I was so shook. Oh, I felt so bad though. Like I did really feel bad.
Yeah, like that kind of because it's interesting at how long they basically lived at this point because Luke wasn't out like it would have been different if like he was talking in a specific manner or something like that, but he was just talking like just how you expect a regular person at the time to talk. So they've been able to like pick up on things for a living for so long that it hasn't like impeded on anything between um how they conversate like Dan and now, which that was pretty interesting with how they did that. But the actual body for um not the actual body, but the actual Luke was inside Benjamin the whole time, and that's
Mhm.
and what were your thoughts on Benjamin? He was
I
going
don't
through.
want to. Girl was going through things, going up, down, left, right, sideways, east coast, west. I don't know.
How he get on that
Um,
rooftop?
that's what I still am trying to figure out. That's what I'm still trying to figure out. This whole time, I just felt bad for Benjamin because I thought he was being a abused by his
That's
wife or
yeah.
something. Like, yeah, this whole time. Only I don't know what to say
Which
because
I
the
guess we could say
ending
he
really,
was being abused.
technically,
It
yeah,
just wasn't his
spiritually,
wife.
but it's like it's really hard to do this character list because like now that I know the ending, it fucks up my like the way I think about these characters now. Um, but I did feel bad for Benjamin. I felt bad that he was going through all this. Only, but God, I just like I said, I thought this whole time he was just being abused like physically by this woman. I thought this woman was trying to kill him. Well, I mean, per se, yeah, they were. But it was just oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's so hard to talk about this because the ending ruined things for me. Not ruined it, but it's just like I don't know what to say because I see it in a different light.
Well, I think um I don't know how.
Because we technically don't know who Benjamin and Violet are. Like,
Well, yeah, we
personality
don't.
wise.
Yeah, we don't know. Like yeah, to that extent, we just know that they were the second group of bodies that they were in. After the the kid bodies they were in like eventually got old, so they swapped into like Benjamin and Violet eventually. Now they're older, so
Right.
they're swapping off of them, but um Benjamin was, I would say, he was the he was kind of the he was kind of the important one for a little bit, because if he hadn't started ringing some alarms to Caroline when he did, like, she still probably would have got things because she was still being a little too nosy.
Right.
But I feel as though his character, like, we needed that there because he was the catalyst of why she was there to begin with, and she was kind of seeing him as a not like her dad, but in a sense like her dad, almost like trying to help this older gentleman because she couldn't do that for her own dad. So that's kind of like
Yeah.
so that's kind of like that place. That was kind of what that placeholder was for her, and like feeling she could do something. But yeah, it just didn't end up working out. But I guess for the rest of these, so we'll get to Caroline last, and we'll like rope Violet and Cecily and Justify all together so we can discuss the rest of them all at once. Um, so Cecily slash Violet. Um, I just thought I thought that what you were thinking, like this was like an abusive, like type of situation. Like I thought it was like, what's that thing? What's that? I think it's like Munchausen's by proxy or something like that, where she was
That's what
trying to
I
like
thought.
keep him sick. Like she was trying to like keep him sick or something, to like keep caring for him, like that type of thing. That's what I thought that was going on for some time, but once we started getting into the hoodoo of it all, then thinking differently. And yeah, but Violet was coming across weird even before some of that was getting in there, which like older
I
people
thought
can
she
continue.
No, I was gonna say I thought she was like a mean person or like, I don't know why. I thought she was like was gonna be one of those South people that just hated people from the north. Just because she was just not part of the culture or something like that. That's what I really thought. She was just gonna make her life a living hell as the nurse just to help out Benjamin. But then it wasn't that at all.
Yeah, like I feel like some older people that like can be like that. Like have those type of not irrational, but set in stone emotions about certain things. So I thought like she was just coming across like that, but then once we get more, once you get more into it, it's like, oh, she isn't. She isn't just being a no. I don't say not creepy woman. She isn't just being like a mean old woman. Like this is a woman with a plan, and Caroline is fucking up her plan, and she's getting annoyed now because
We also
she's having to work
can we
harder.
also just bring back this whole time she just didn't want her because she was white and she wanted a black body. That's why
I
I was like, I
mean,
didn't want to
but I
want to like.
mean, after three bodies now, and 2 bodies, and now we see you still gotta get another white body because
Oh
except the black,
god,
except the black girls that want to work there.
had me. I was dying. Oh my goodness.
No, that line was funny to me. But last but not least on our character list today, we have Miss Caroline. Take it
Justice
away
for
for your
Caroline.
girl. Take it away for your
Justice for
girl,
Caroline.
Leon.
So the way that I saw Caroline's character was like, just like what just how Tuan brought up, how she wanted to help this man because the man reminded her of her father and how she couldn't be there for him. He wanted to at least be there for him for this man's final days. So I was like, okay, I understand that. I thought she was very resilient and like, she really cared about this dude enough to like do all this stuff. And she was kind of looking at it in a psychological aspect because, Benjamin can't talk, but and then the wife, aka Violet, aka Cecile, was so religious to the point where it made it a little impossible to just get some kind of scientific help. So she played along with the whole thing, and that's why she went to the hoodoo doctor for it. So like just like I brought up prior was that if it makes him feel better if he believes in this stuff, I might as well just participate it and make it believable, but only for her to realize, oh shit, this shit's real. They made her believe at the end that this was all real, and I felt so bad for her because like she really thought that she was trying to help a patient psychologically. Well, that's why he was scared. And he was trying to help him, only to find out that that wasn't the case at all. Um, as like she could have escaped if that door was not locked. Um, I did find it funny. Let's see. But I was so disappointed in her because I was like, you should have called the police so they could have on this. But at the same time, I was just like, I was also mad at her friend for not realizing that was not her because like even the accent was different. Like the accent was definitely. But no, going back to Caroline's character, I do defend her on all things because at the end of the day, she was a nurse. She was just doing what wasn't right, what she thought was right for her patient, only to figure out that she should have just left. She really should have or escaped. She didn't do that. That's all I can say about Miss Caroline.
See, my thing is, I understand if she's a nurse, she wants to help, but we need a level of discernment for the things that we're doing, and when certain people just don't have discernment when it comes to situations and when to get out. Um, if she really wanted to do something, like you mentioned, she should have called the authorities or called like some services or whatever, reported elder abuse. Like if she's a nurse, there's so many other resources that she could have used
Oh,
if she felt
100% I agree with you.
something was happening here. But she took it upon herself to kind of dip her toe into untreaded waters, and just because she may not believed in it at the time, she eventually did. But just because she didn't when she was initially dealing with things, uh, I don't think that meant she should have went along with it because you don't know what you're dealing with or what you're inviting. Because
Now,
you can
see,
invite,
that is where I can agree with. I can agree with you right there.
yeah, and like see that, and that's what I think she was like bigging herself up on. Is she like, and then I think. she was bigging herself up on like her kind of getting the understanding of it, but then also thinking she was bigger than the program towards the end, and that she was going to be doing stuff more than these other than what Violet and them already knew how to do. Like just because you got the one up on somebody doesn't mean that you can immediately you the master all of a sudden. And I think Violet, thought, I mean not Violet, Caroline thought she was bigger than the program towards the end, and then got caught up. But if she had left early on, especially after finding her own voodoo doll, like I'm sorry, if I find a voodoo doll of me and somebody in somebody's possession, one, I'm taking my voodoo doll because I don't know what the fuck you about to do with it, and then second,
I,
I'm getting the fuck out of there. Because what you mean you got a life size voodoo doll that look like me, and I'm just supposed to stay in the same house with it?
you know what's one thing very off topic? I want them to make this as a comedy, and I want them to cast Regina as still as Brenda for this fucking movie. Because I'm gonna tell you, I can already see how it's gonna go, and I want it to happen. It's a
Yeah,
very off
she.
topic thing, but I'm like, I could see it as a comic, and I kind of low key like, I know it's an old film, but I kind of low key hope they do put in skits because I'm like, I would be laughing so much.
Yeah, they would have lost me. Well, no, not they would have lost me. Actually, no, yeah. If I was Carolina, yeah, they would have lost me if I seen that. I'd have been out. I ain't
You
dealing
would
with
have been
that.
like the priest from movie too. Fuck this.
Yeah, fuck this. But
Sorry, I just have to say that because I'm like, I can see it as a. I wish it.
do you have anything else on Caroline?
No, that's it. I agree with you till the very end. Like at the very end, I just like at the same time as I see where her intentions were, but at the same time, bro, you should have done something else.
Yep. Moving on to our behind the scenes info and facts. So, the Skeleton Key had a budget of 43 million and they brought in a box office of 94 million. Some interesting facts. The movie was filmed at the Felicity Plantation in St. James Parish, Louisiana, though CGI was used to create the swampy atmosphere depicted behind the house, as the actual location is surrounded by farmland. The film is noted for correctly distinguishing hoodoo as a different practice from voodoo, which is a common misconception. Kate Hudson's pregnancy in 2003 required the production to be postponed until the following year. Her character Caroline was never intended to be pregnant, so the delay was necessary to accommodate her. During a
Oh,
night During a nighttime rainstorm sequence, veteran actress Gina Rowland slipped and fell, breaking her hand. This injury required a 5-week break from shooting for her recovery. The remainder of her scenes were later completed in California. Ronald McCall had to cut his dreadlocks to play the character of Papa Justify, and the film received mixed reviews upon its release, but has since been considered an underrated gem by some critics. And following that up with some critics' reactions, the film sits at a 37% on Rotten Tomatoes. Roger Ebert wrote, "The Skeleton Key is one of those movies that explains too much, while it is explaining too little and leaves us with a surprise at the end that makes more sense the less we think about it. The movie's mastery of technique makes up for that." The Guardian awarded the film 3 out of 5 stars, noting it's a pretty thankless role for poor John Hurt, and there are some plot holes, but there's some shrewd satire of racism as the modern South's persistent. The New York Times criticized the film for its plot, describing it as enjoyably insane, and also noting that the film indulges in almost every conceivable regional and Southern Gothic genre cliche. But enough of them. What about us? Elion, do you cash or pass Skeleton Key?
I'm gonna cash it just because the reason why is like I'm still gonna go rewatch it. Like I still want to rewatch it so I could see the scenes that I've missed out on and see the realization or like the reality of it. I honestly more like there's like what you guys said. You'll if you watch it a second time, you'll see a whole different movie. To be fair, because I'm just thinking about it, like it's gonna play out so differently in my head now that I know. So like for me, it's like I would definitely cash it. I would actually tell people to watch this film just because like I know they're gonna want to watch it again just for the same reason.
All right, and for me, I will also be giving this one a cash. This was a good little watch. Like I could see myself coming back to this one. Something to have on in the background. Also, wouldn't mind it's one of those movies I think showing someone for the first time kind of watch would be enjoyable. Like it's nothing like it's not like best movie I've ever seen, but it was pretty good. I had fun watching it, and this was a fun discussion for it as well. Mark couldn't join us this week for the episode, but I believe he would have given this one a cash as well. He noted liking this one, but we'll know in the future. We'll have to give you guys an update. But thank you all for joining us today, and good night. If you like this episode, please be sure to check out some from the Haddonfield Horror Cemetery, where we've covered big franchises such as Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Saw, or one-off reviews like The Blackening or Hereditary. You can follow Haddonfield Horrors on Instagram and TikTok, where the host posts updates and mini reviews. Full episodes are available on several podcasting platforms, including Spotify, as well as YouTube. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe. The Haddonfield Horrors podcast is produced by Mark Smart, Tawan Griffin, and Elian Cordova, themed by Lethal Injection, and edited by Mark Smart.
The Haddonfield Horror Podcast is a letter to media production.
Should we do an intro?